I'm a design program manager at PlayStation, so I mainly work on the console operating system along with the VR headset and environment, the mobile app, and the web social space. So it's a team of roughly around like 30, 40-ish designers, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely dream job. I'm happy. I love it. And there was quite the journey on how to get to that. And so I'm sharing that with you all about and giving some tips about like what you all can do in order to also chase after your dream job. So let us get started. So first things first, start now. So I don't just show of hands, how many people right now are currently like in an education process of getting their like degree or in this field? Yay, that's awesome. You're already on the right step. So good job there. And if not, if you haven't gotten like to that point yet, then start now. The internet is full of wonderful tutorials and other things along those lines. So yay. So dive into tutorials, figure out like specific things out of your craft, and just dive deep into those. So then start making stuff. So be it if you're in art, you want to explore art, design, program, like even audio engineering, just start cranking stuff out. And then once you start having stuff, throw away like all of it, because the point of it is to learn, not actually like to potentially like show to people unless it is for critique. So another thing, how many people have actually graduated with their degree and now you're on that part of your, yeah, this part kind of scary, yeah, we'll get to that. So an important thing to remember is that education like never stops. So even after you graduate, keep diving into those tutorials, keep looking at your craft and identifying specific areas that you can improve upon or that you think you need to polish up. So yeah, constantly reflect on where you have specific opportunities to improve. So, and then once you figure out what those opportunities are, dive super deep into those and continue to refine. So this is one that actually really doesn't happen much from when I've been talking to people, which is read. And this doesn't necessarily just mean like articles online or the tutorials. This is different. So this is specifically like craft-focused books. So for me, with like program management, 2 books would be like Creativity Inc. by Ed Catmull, and then Starting Point by Hayao Miyazaki, which is about his like journey of like getting his animation like career and studio set up. So not only are there little nuggets in those kind of books for like that you can apply to your craft and how you speak towards it, but also they're quite inspiring tales. So yeah, read, like please go find some good books and read. So next step, socialize. You all are here. That is an awesome first step because you're gonna meet wonderful, wonderful people at events like these. So, and it's all about making personal relationships. So a mistake I made in my early like days of like, yay, time to go to GDC and start talking to people was don't ask people for jobs. Don't try not to get too excited about that because they can't give you them. Like most of the people, unless they're like in HR, they can't. They'll just go, okay, cool, I might put this on the desk of the right person, but I don't know you. So instead focus on building like actual friendships and good relationships, and it might take a couple of years, but those are far more valuable. So you can go to local meetups and events such as these. So there's plenty of, like each city has like, odds are there's like an IGDA chapter or others like unity groups and other things like that where you can go and socialize. Another thing, if you are an introvert like me and going to those things might be kind of intimidating at first, because I don't know if some of you here right now are like, and like I need this, but So you have opportunities there for close friend groups and family. So, and I will get into, and you can talk with them about your craft and find like any close friends that you may have met in college or others that are also passionate about this and sharing that experience with them. And then you take them to these events and then you don't have to worry about socializing with people you don't know. So at these events and places, get feedback. And it's not necessarily on just the things you make, but also on how you are thinking about things. So it's important to converse with people about like your subject matter and get their thoughts and insights and see what they know that you've learned, because it's a really big world and there's a lot of stuff that bubbles into this craft. So, and this will feed into something that I'm going to touch back on later, but while you're conversing with people, understanding why they love what you do is going to be critical to you being able to be successful in making beautiful experiences for people in the future. So, and then also going to events and socializing with others helps get you inspired because you see what other people are doing, you're like, I can do that. Or you see what other people want and you hear what they're hungry for and there's an opportunity there that you can explore. So now for what seems to be the majority of the people here, let's get to the hunt, which is you have your education, you're at a point, you're like, I'm ready for this, it's time to go, time for the hunt. So first things first, prepare for the hunt. So first, reflect really deeply on this question, and it might seem like a really simple thing, but having a good, solid answer goes a long way, which is why do you really want this? So when I first started was like, it's games, yes, 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 why wouldn't I? It's brought me joy in the past. I want this, I want to be a part of this wonderful world. But then upon thinking of it more and more, like that's where I started to go down tracks of like, you look at like those specific moments that you've had in the past, and it's about like the next phase of like, now it's my turn to give that back because this craft and this world has changed my life so much and it's been so wonderful, I want to do that and give this opportunity to other people. So answers like that are much better than games are fun. So, which happens a lot. So also when I got at PlayStation, one of the first things that they asked me to do, because I was setting up the program management group for design, is like, now you get to hire people. It's like, oh, well, that's weird, because 3 months ago I was like on the other end of that, and there was a lot of answers of just like, I was like, why do you want to work at PlayStation? They're like, it's fun. I'm like, okay, really? All right. So, and you can solve that problem with this, which is practicing interviewing with people. So friends, family, whatever. And also if they ask, like don't worry about them not necessarily knowing industry specific questions, because you know that stuff. You can talk about why your portfolio or your craft and like deep dive into that knowledge. But of like the generic questions, like what's your best success? When did you fail? Those will trip you up pretty hard. So talking those through and getting practice so that you can answer that stuff with confidence is critical. So resumes, I've seen a lot of them now. And the biggest mistake that I've seen is it's a list of nouns, as in here's a list of projects that I've done, here's a list of software that I know. Please hire me. So the challenge as well for like a lot of students is as far as that first set of nouns of like, here's stuff I've done, that might be harder to sell because it's like student projects or like maybe like little indie things that haven't shipped yet. So the greatest thing that you can do in that, if you're in that situation, is to look at your projects and look at the challenges you experienced during them and call out like a one-sentence blurb underneath it of like, say like on student project X, I was a technical artist and we experienced these challenges and this is how I worked with the team to solve them. So things like that go a long way and will show how you're actually going to contribute with your team. So now that you've prepared, it's time for the actual hunt. So this is something that I ended up doing to help with my sanity. So before I really deep dive into this, I'm going to give some context here. So before I went on my journey of trying to get to PlayStation, I got out of college, got into like as an associate producer at a little indie studio, and then they closed down because indie studios sometimes do that. But then afterwards, family hit a medical emergency and I couldn't afford the salaries that were in the local game space in Dallas. So I had to go big corporate travel solutions for my paycheck. So I went there, and after 3 years of that, I was like, I miss this, I gotta get back into games. So I did something really risky, which was I just cold quit my job, put all my belongings in my car, and drove from Texas to Seattle, and kind of winged it, and tried to figure out what I could do. So to help with my sanity, I made a record of every single job I applied for. And this is helpful for a lot of reasons, because when you enter this phase, you're going to be applying for a lot of jobs. And there's going to be that moment where you're looking at an application on like Bungie's website and you're like, did I already apply for that? I don't know. And you don't want to like embarrassingly like resubmit. So that helps. But the biggest thing that, at least for me, was the emotional side of this, of it showed that I was making progress and moving in the right, like I'm making an effort here and I can track it. So over the course of 6 months, I submitted 365 applications total. Out of those, I received 23 rejection letters. The rest I'd never heard back from. It was just into the void. So out of that, I got 8 interviews, and then 5 of them quickly rejected me. So for one reason or another. So, but after all of that and a lot of stress, I got 3 job offers. So what that actually looks like from the scale of work that you're actually going to end up doing from like submit, is that's how many you might actually get. And that's like 0.8% of the total job applications I submitted that actually turned into something worthwhile. So I wish I had known this going in, because there was a lot of sanity moments of like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? Is this going to be worth it? And it totally is. A thing I want to point out though is this guy. So, oops, is this guy over here, because these are actually in chronological order of like the jobs that I submitted for and then I actually got an offer for. So that one there was with Amazon, and I submitted and applied and interviewed for that job within like 2 weeks of my search. And then after 3 interviews, they just went, sorry, and stopped contacting me. And I got called back instead of by the team I was working with, like a random HR person who it felt like more, they're like, don't sue us for leading you on, bye. And I was like, what? So, but then like 6 months later, they called me back and they're like, so you ready for this? You want the job? So and at that point I'd already signed on with PlayStation. I was like, oh, that's weird, but thank you. So what's great about that though is even if out of all the things that you've submitted in the past that you may either have not heard back, they may just blossom one day and like turn into an opportunity. So it's not a waste of time.